Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. We're waiting for the our speaker to our guest speaker to come in. He's coming in a few minutes, and then we'll get started.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Ishmael.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, Dr. Ada.
Yeah. So I have to stop the
Can you see
sharing.
can you see me clearly?
Yeah, I can see you very,
Yes,
very
we can
well.
see you very well. Welcome.
Except that your face is dark.
Yes,
Yes. I'm trying to
he,
see if I can get the light.
he's
Yeah.
African, so
Yeah.
he keeps a dark face.
So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are participating from. Here is another episode of our training in engaging youth for the global agenda for the decade of action. I'm glad that I can see United States, I can see South Africa, I can see Antigua,
Nigeria?
Antigua, I can see Nigeria, I can see members of the governing council. Um, I can see African region. Which other countries are? Is that I can't see Europe. I can't see Caribbean apart from
Antigua
uh,
is Caribbean. Okay.
Antigua is here. Okay, so this is today is an interesting part, very interesting to me because I want to know more with the Sustainable Development Goals. I want to see how I can develop my skills. What kind of skill can I put in play along the development agenda, which is the major drive now, and that is the spirit of this Youth Gather Global. So we have no other time to waste because we have wasted 15 minutes and we are going to give our diplomat and our ambassador, a regional program director, and a dear brother to me. If I start telling you how I started with this, my brother, you will see, wow, this Dr. Da is a strong woman. I'm not a strong woman. But I pull him out, even when he was working with the Secretary General of the United Nations, I'll pull him out within 5 minutes and you follow him. But it's not that I'm too powerful, but his love for what I am doing, and he encourages me a lot. And that is why I always look for him whenever I am there. I always look for him because when you know that you are too intelligent, you are too powerful, it's not that people who cherish you, people who support you, people who encourage you make you too powerful. And that is why he spoke at our Ecosoc Youth Forum, and then he came up with the idea that he can train the youth in this dimension. I said, fine, fine. This monthly training came from his initiative, and I'm glad that he's here with us. So the members of Youth Gather Global, whether you are a director, whether you are a country director, whether you're a coordinator, whatever you were, here is His Excellency who is going to teach us the skills in sustainable development goals. And I know that we have 17 sustainable goals and 169 targets. So we want to know more. And I hand over to the chair of the governing council, Prince Dr. Ositani Emeka, to introduce our guest. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, my Chancellor. Welcome, my brother Ishmael. Welcome.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the faculty for today is Ishmael Dudu. He is currently the Special Advisor to the UN Secretary General's Special Advisor for the Sahel. Previously, Ishmael worked as Executive Director in the Executive Office of the Secretary General as a Strategic Country Advisor at the Office of Assistant Secretary General and Regional Director for UNDP Africa. He is Ga. my brother is Ghanaian, and he grew up, in his own constituency, and believed that he owes a lot to the formidable training obtained from Accra Academy. His love for Ghana and his belief that the country and Africa would transform greatly by investing in the youth and women of simple and ordinary upbringing is unflinching. He believes that Africa is a great continent and wants to play his part to make that happen. Ishmael obtained a master's from Oxford, for University of Oxford in environmental change and management with focus on natural resources management and governance. First, he holds a first-class BSc with honors in natural resources management from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Ghana. He holds 2 honorary doctorates for his contributions to Africa, intellectualism, and public diplomacy from Adam Smith University of America and John Dewey University, respectively, and an African Norman and Ivy League Fellow, Lincoln College, Oxford University. Please join me as I welcome Dr. Ishmael Dudu as he focuses on entrepreneurship in sustainable development goals. Welcome, Ishmael.
Thank you very much. I'm very humble with this elaborate introduction. For the purposes of this conversation, I'm actually going to speak from my heart. Normally, you would have an elaborate presentation, but I think that one of the ways that we need to gear ourselves towards the formidable and humongous task of transforming Africa through the lens of the Sustainable Development Goals is to be able to speak to our hearts and to look at what we have learned over the years since the Sustainable Development Goals was set out.
Is there any way you can turn your camera to back the light so that we can see?
Yes, so that we can see your face. Earlier, I was going to ask you.
Is it better?
No.
No.
Now, I think there's no light, on your face.
The light is not very. The light.
Yeah.
Is better. Maybe.
Well, let's go with that. We can hear your voice and I can put your photograph somewhere. Go. Thank you.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see if I can actually give some good light. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah,
okay.
If your camera can back the light, that will be fine.
Okay. He's using a virtual background, so.
Oh, okay.
Is that better, or let me move to a different location and I'll come back?
Yes, take 1 minute. We'll just wait for you. Thank you. Thanks for doing this. Thanks a lot.
Is that better now?
Yeah, we can walk. Yeah, we can see your face a little bit, but
yeah.
What about this? Okay. Yeah, we can see your face. We can see your very handsome face. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So sorry that always I have to do this. So as I was saying, that I'm going to actually speak to you from the bottom of my heart to actually reflect some lessons. How do we position yourself to be an effective contributor towards the implementation of Sustainable Development Goals from the point of view of transforming communities, influencing lives or impacting lives? As young as you may be, or as old as you may be, there's not a better time for you to transform your societies. I'm going to look at it from the African perspective, that every one of us has something to give. And when you look at the enormity of the task that we are confronted with, 17 Sustainable Development Goals, they speak to the entirety of the challenges that Africa faces. If you look at a continent in the sub-Saharan Africa, particularly on the West, most of the countries are fragile. We have issues around climate change and food insecurity, issues around IDPs, that's a movement of people who are forced out of their homes to migrate because of the Boko Harams and the violent extremists that we see in the Sahel, in the northern part of Nigeria, in the Great Lakes region. We also see a tremendous destruction of our ecosystems and everything that really can actually set out the basis for African transformation within the West Africa I'm talking about. Now we're also confronted with the biggest challenge now of COVID, which has exacerbated the poverty situation of our countries. So the West itself, when you describe it, doesn't paint a very strong picture or a very, if you like, hopeful picture of what we can achieve. If you look at the East provides some good pictures. We see some of the countries like Tanzania and others and working, but then you also have the problem with Horn of Africa. Recently, we also have some of the violent extremism happening in Mozambique. The South Africa is dropping in terms of its economic acceleration. It is losing its number one status as a production of gold. So we are saying that all through Africa, there's a tendency to believe that there's actually serious development challenges that we need to address. Now we are saddled with structural problems such as youth unemployment. In my time when I was growing up in the 1990s, when someone graduates from university, you have one or two options. You might be able to get some job somewhere, and you pride yourself as graduating from university, so you'll be able to get jobs. Today, you have two depression levels when you enter the university and when you come out of the university. And sometimes even to leave the university, students become so depressed because they don't know what the future holds for them. But in the midst of that, I like to say that there is quite a serious optimism. We have a situation where we can invest in the teeming youth that we have, 65% of 1.3 billion population by 2050, with the skills and the capacities that they need to be able to become the agents of change, to be the engineers that would develop our roads, to be the agricultural experts that will actually grow the food to feed us, to being the ones that can actually manage our natural resources, to be the leaders that we need to provide a strategic direction and quality leadership to transform our nations. So we have a great opportunity to be able to do that. At the same time, we also have tremendous opportunity to be very innovative, to take advantage of the resources that we have. We have tremendous natural resources in terms of oil and gas, and some, we also have other natural resources that are very critical for, for mobile technologies and so on and so forth. And then we also have tremendous opportunity to be the food basket to the world, to participate in the $1.3 trillion economy of food production to feed the rest of the world. So there are tremendous opportunities for us. And these opportunities are actually lying in front of us. So then when we think about sustainable development, how do we position ourselves as youth or agents of change through the lens to use the sustainable development as a blueprint to be effective in transforming our societies? The way, in order to transform your society or in order to be able to influence change, you as the individual, you need to work on yourself. And this is the kind of experience that I am gathering through my close to 25 years of work in the development practice. And so I'm going to share with some very practical principles that will enable you as the individual to be an influencer and an agent of change, to be able to administer sustainable development goals for the purposes of transforming communities, transforming lives, and influencing change. So the first idea that I want to put forward to all of you, and it should be really a moment of reflection. The question you need to ask yourself is, who am I? Why am I motivated to participate in this, for example, this training, that I want to be able to be an agent of change? What is my purpose? Why am I getting involved? Who am I? What is my purpose? What am I here on earth to do? When you look at your communities, when you look at the areas where you are motivated to influence, the question you need to ask yourself is, in what ways are you called to be that purpose? You must have a sense of purpose, and you need to really underscore that sense of purpose. Because when you have something to go out for, something to move towards, the thing that helps is that you're able to wake up to say, yes, you know, in spite of the challenges, I need to get going. So define your purpose. Define your purpose. Who am I? What am I on earth to do? What is it that I have on earth that it is me that I have to do it uniquely? And I want to really appeal to you that there is something that needs to be done on earth. That is why you are here. And so you are uniquely placed with the talents, the skills, the influences that God is creating for you to be able to occupy that space. And it is only you that can occupy that space. So don't really belittle yourself at all. You need to be able to think to yourself that I have a power of purpose. Something has to pull you strongly. And, you know, it is extremely important to answer this question of power of purpose, because for all of us who are development practitioners, something needs to inspire us to be able to see the world in its optimistic state and say, I can change this. Because when you look at the challenges that we are confronted with, which are enumerated, you need to have a power of purpose, a sense of duty call to be able to say, yes, we can do it. So work on yourself for the first one. The first and the most fundamental thing is, who am I? The second is, you need, as a development practitioner, you need to have build self-confidence. When I talk about self-confidence, I'm not talking about self-confidence that emanated from you know, you looking at yourself and say, well, I can do everything, I'm a Superman. No. It is a self-confidence that is inspired by strength and self-courage, that you can be able to do things because you have what it takes. God has given you the skills and abilities to be able to do it. And you have to be, discipline is everything. Discipline creates opportunities. Self-confidence requires an ability to have some kind of discipline. And you know, you build self-confidence by focusing on the very little tasks that you need to do and completing it. So if you ask yourself, I want to really influence my communities to achieve the SDGs, what are the things that you need to learn in order to move there? What are the things that you need to be doing in order to do that? The very set goals for yourself. And when you set the little goals for yourself and you keep following those, you will see that the moment you accomplish the little tasks and the goals that you set for yourself, you'll be building that self-confidence over time. So in other words, you as an individual who want to effect change, you must not neglect to do the small little disciplines that you need to have. Build self-confidence, ability to be able to rise above your circumstances, a challenge or big or small, and nothing should shake you. You should be so purposeful, so poised that I know I can do it. I know that I am the person to take on these tasks. As humongous as those tasks are, as little as I feel myself, I am still able to do it. And that self-confidence is what is going to inspire you to say, I will do whatever it takes to make that dream come to pass. The second thing is, you need to develop enthusiasm. You need to be enthusiastic about applying the sustainable development goals to achieve things. You know, because we are moving in a situation where everything seems to be in a development setting. You're taking people from one end to the other. And that's what development is. You are transforming. You'll never have development if there is no transformational change. And in order for you to really drive that transformational change, you have to address some of the root causes. Some of the root causes could be structural. If, for example, you're looking at gender issues, how is it that in certain communities, women are not allowed to go to school? Women are given to marriages at the age of 12 or the age of 13. How is it that disproportionately certain areas of the country is neglected simply because the government feels they are too remote? And you go there, you see tremendous challenges. something needs to inspire your enthusiasm to want to be able to stay the course. And believe me, you'll be frustrated. You will see money that is allocated to address a community situation which a politician is going to steal. Now, how do you ensure that you maintain the course and you advance the advocacy in order to be able to change things? There must be some enthusiasm. And enthusiasm, I'm talking about enthusiasm that is coming from within. An enthusiasm that says, if I'm able to change this status quo, if I'm able to change these policies that is applied culturally, that 12-year-old, 13-year-old might go to school, and I'm able to advance advocacy to change this course, then, I'll look back and say, yes, I did it. Your end goal is what should inspire you. So you need that enthusiasm. And I'm sorry, but today I'm talking to you about you, because you as an agent of change, you need to invest in yourself. And I think fundamental to the training is another thing we're going to do about how to apply the SDGs to transform your societies and communities. We need to first deal with ourselves. And this is why I'm talking about some of these elements. And these are things that, they are lessons. What I'm reflecting are lessons that I've learned from serving people in high authorities, including Secretary General. The other point which it is critical for you today is you need to build expertise. You must know how to do things. Know how to do things. Opportunities come to those people who are prepared. Life doesn't give you what you need, it gives you what you deserve. So if you invest in yourself to be able to learn how to do things, how to communicate, how to mobilize, how to ensure advocacy, how to build, a momentum to do things, how to organize, how to plan. You have to ask yourself, what is it? What are the skills or the competencies that I need to develop and hone in order to be very effective? That when somebody looks at you, the person will not only say that you are knowledgeable in the work you are doing, but you are capable. You have the willingness, the commitment, and the capacity. So I'm talking here about capacity. What expertise? How do you get this? You have to read. Trainings such as this are extremely important, and you need to take serious care about these trainings and read the kind of books that are very helpful to you. Development books, how people have done things. If you want to transform a community, how people have done it. Whatever you lack, you have to invest in that area of expertise. If you invest in that area of expertise, then you'll be able to serve kings. You'll be able to serve leaders. You'll be able to go far, because nobody will ignore you because of what you stand for. So you must need to invest in expertise. The other thing is you have to prepare yourself for the opportunity. The opportunity will come. But opportunities are always looking for people that are ambitious, people that are prepared. Think about it. If you have money to give towards a cause, you will never give money to the person who is not prepared to utilize the money for producing benefits and yielding results. The same is with opportunities. The same is what life brings you. You have to prepare to take the stage when your moment comes. Just like a tree, which yields its fruits, and you see the fruits, the mango tree comes at a certain season, your life is going to appear at a certain season. And all of us have seasonalities in our lives. How well are you prepared to lead a community? How well are you prepared to provide the leadership to transform your lives and the lives of your society? How well are you prepared to not just understand the challenges that we face, but be able to prefer solutions that are very practical, very transforming, and can address the root causes of problems? These are the things that you really need to do. So prepare yourself. Now let me dwell a little bit about preparation. You have to prepare for success in life. Choices that you make. Choices have consequences. Not making choices also have consequences. Success is a matter of law, and law is a matter of discipline, and discipline is a matter of focus. What are the things that you need to be doing in order to maintain yourself as a woman or man of integrity? What are the things that you need to be doing to show loyalty and commitment to your cause? What are the things that you need to do to live an exceptional life? Friends that will not add value to yourself, you need to learn to restructure your association. Who are the friends that I need to have? They must always add value to you. If you live in a setting where you don't gain anything, it's all about talking sometimes nonsense and engaging in stupid acts. This is not what you need to carry into your future. If you don't invest in your future today to enable you to be prepared for your purpose, things can pass you by. So life has an opportune time. You need to prepare. Read good books, research, a lot of materials on YouTube, on various things that you want to learn. Everything that you have to do it. You know, when I came here 3 years ago, I didn't speak any word of French. I had done French in my high school, but that's what the only, it is not really one that I can write on. I have to day and night, wake up, read, check out things, go to school that people teach me, and now I can speak French and work in French environment. This is what we need to do. And working in a French environment, giving an opportunity to them work in the Sahel. So you see, you can do it at my age. I learned French when I'm about 40 years old. You are below 35. This is your moment. If languages are going to be very helpful to work in Africa, learn at least French. There are other things that you need to read. Read about political theories, about development theories, read about people who have made significant contribution to their communities and societies, how they did it, learn from it. Spend time on building yourself. The thing is that when you spend time preparing, the next thing you have is called the power of value. You have added value to yourself. Who doesn't want anyone that is valuable? Do you want to be that person who is valuable? You know, Wangari Maathai, she was a very valuable woman. Nelson Mandela, a very valuable individual. These are people that we have taught. These are people who have influenced our generation. And there are many young people who are becoming great influencers in societies. What influencers have in common is they are valuable. Steve Jobs is valuable. Bill Gates is valuable. Osepe is valuable. Dangote is valuable. What is it? What value do you want to place on yourself? What value do you want to place on yourself? Go for that gold. So that's and I'm running to the final point that I want to talk about is self-image and character. How do you want people to perceive you? How do you want people to perceive you? If all through this training and all through this association with Dr. Ada and Prince Doctor, the opportunities they are giving you, if none of these opportunities is transforming you, let me repeat the word, transforming you, renewing your mind, these opportunities helping you to think differently, to act differently, to the point where nobody can put you on certain blocks and say, well, Godfrey, the Kiboys behave this way. No. You could be Godfrey Kiboy, but your behavior cannot be pigeonholed because you have been so transformed and be a person that when anyone engages, the person, whoever engages you, leaves you and says, wow, I want a wow factor for you. And all of you can have that wow factor. So how can you then build that? One of the things you need to do is look at how people perceive you, the way you dress, the way you talk. Let the fruits that you emanate show kindness, show one who is smart, one who is serious, one who is humble, one who can be seen as a man or a woman who is selfless, has a bit of integrity. And this leads to my final point, which is character. Anything that is not right, you need to get it out of your life, but you know it. You know that there's things you cannot take into your future. The world is looking for men and women of integrity. Men and women who, when they say one thing, they mean it. When they don't say one thing in public and do the other. The so-called image that we have of politicians. You cannot behave like the so-called image of politicians to be an influencer and one who transforms communities. In fact, you'll be going against the whole idea of sustainable development. Sustainable development is a development which is enduring. Apply the principle to yourself. Very enduring, very stable, very measured, very deep-rooted. You have values, you have principles, you don't compromise on those. And when you are given an opportunity, the world will celebrate you. It is my desire that some of these perspectives that I share with you, and these are perspectives that I've learned for myself, and some of them I've learned through the hard way. I'm not perfect. I have had to subject myself to continuously working on myself to attain the level that I wanted to be. But these are values and principles and the things that I have made people like Ban Ki-moon become Ban Ki-moon, people like Kofi Annan become Kofi Annan, and people like Nelson Mandela's, and all the influences we are seeing in our lives. People like Dangote and others, they will never attain where they are if they have not espoused some of those values. So it is important to transfer those values to you. Remember, my feeling, my belief system is that we are in a moment, we are in a generation where we can transform Africa. It's no longer going to be possible for people, for outsiders to build our roads for us. Our own engineers will build our roads. Our own agriculturists will grow the food that we need. Our own technologists will grow the technology environment that we need to be able to unleash tremendous growth in Africa. We'll have to take charge of our destiny and transform things. We can do that with people like you. Those of us who are this age 45 onwards, we could be the bridge between the old and the young. But what we can do is to impact and partner with you. But you have to be prepared to take the opportunities. And I hope that I've been able to challenge you a bit with some of the ideas that I've espoused. And I'll end here, and I'm happy to engage with questions. Thank you.
Wow, what a marathon.
Thank you. Thank you. Please unmute yourselves and show appreciation for our brother Ishmael. Please. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You know, when we are growing up, we always love this statement you hear from the horse's mouth. So today we have from the horse.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not a horse.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's interesting that these are the underlying ideas that gave back to the Sustainable Development Goals. I knew when we were doing the post-2015 agenda, Brother Ishmael was in most of the major groups that has to deal with youth. And in order to think of how can the youth get involved with the Sustainable Development Goals and which one affects the youth. And this came together and everything is all geared that youths are now participating in 2030 agenda. So to whom much is expected, much is given. I'm not surprised that Doctor was able to point on this highlight because these were practical experiences. It's not theoretical, practical issues that were considered in the course of development agenda. And then in those days where he was with the former Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, there was this idea that initiatives, ideas should come up to ensure that the development goal did not fail us. and that nothing is left behind. So these were all their instrumental initiatives that brought us to where we are today. So all these points he highlighted are very, very important if we are really ready to engage ourselves in the decade of action. So the floor is open for all of us to ask him questions. You know, in my play, they said when you climb an Iroko tree, pluck everything you want to pluck from there because you will not be able to climb again. So we are now here, and it's now our time to, floor is open, ask your questions where you are confused. And I need more questions from the youth because this is the pillar of what we are doing in Youth Gather Global, gauging the youth to the decade of action. Well, before I allow you to speak, I would like to ask Doctor one question. I know we have 17 goals, and SDG 8 has been looked at most effective or sort of associated with the young ones, the youth on the development agenda. What kind of skills and entrepreneur do you advocate that the youth should start to align with that SDG 8?
Right, that's a very good question. To which I do not aim to say that I have all the perfect answers, but this is what I think from the basis of experience. That if you live in, and I'm going to come from the African perspective because, well, you know, our challenges could be, you can plug and play in certain areas in Asia, not very much in the developed countries. Although in developed countries, there are certain areas within developed countries where they still have developing world challenges, even in the US, in certain places in North Carolina and so on. But what is envisaged from the perspective now I see it and all the discussions I've had in youth is that we are seeing a future that is to be led and driven by youth. A future to be led and driven by youth. And in the SDG 8, we're looking at decent work and economic growth. If you look at sub-Saharan Africa today, unemployment rate is between 10 to 12% in most countries in terms of average. But underemployment, which is unemployment where you gain, which is not really enough to be able to provide you security. Some employment where it is hand to mouth, you don't even get your pension and everything. You're just selling, buy and sell and do something to just survive. It's about 55% of the population. So we're talking about close to 60% that are actually not working, really, and they are not engaged in decent work. So what we need to do is to turn this around. And I'm really a big fan of being optimistic, being pragmatic, but having a faith that you can actually take charge of an action. And how do we do this? The youth must look at the sectors of the economy where you can exert dominance and influence and control. And I always start from agriculture. Today, if you are manufacturing, if you are producing pepper, and your ambition is that of the 1.3 billion population and over 2 point something household we see, every dinner table will have mine pepper, you'll be a billionaire. But most of us don't think of leaving school and going into agriculture. What about fishery? It should be possible for you to call yourself a fish engineer or an agriculturist or somebody like that. All of us are choosing, youth are actually going to school and choosing careers which does not open bigger opportunities for employment. You have to move out of your comfort zone. My advice to a youth today is to ask yourself, education for what? These jobs, these positions, these courses I'm choosing, they are for what reason? You know that the system is so created that you are wired to go to school to learn how to do one particular thing to fit into the industrial complex. Think outside the box. And somebody asked a question about purpose. you follow purpose by really having a deep self-reflection and say, what are the things that I'm passionate about? What are the things that I can naturally deploy my talent to do? What are the things that when I think about it, it makes me very angry that I want to do something about? In my case, what I'm passionate about is what I'm doing now. How can I impart to youth and prepare them to take charge of the entire destiny of our continent? I can do what I'm doing to you today, 24 hours without eating, and I'm still very satisfied, because that is what I feel passionate about. So when we are talking about decent work and economic growth, it is you to create that jobs. Go into spaces which are uncommon. The agricultural sector, even in the agricultural sector, you can focus on one or two agricultural products. Can you imagine if you are the main tomato producing factory in Africa? You are $1 trillion economy. You control everything. Today, those who control our politics, they are not the oil and gas people. They are those who put food on our table. If you control pepper, you control tomatoes, you control garden eggs, you are the most influential individual in the world, because the day you decide you're not growing anything, nobody eats.
Nobody eats.
This is the kind of thinking you need to have. So think about yourself. It doesn't matter if you study political science or history and so on. All the things you study, there are things that he has taught you. He's taught you how to think critically. He's taught you how to organize yourself, how to plan yourself. It is also taught you how to have a strategic thinking and planning. Make good use of those key competencies and skills you've acquired and occupy the economic space. I'll say one other thing. It is extremely important for youth today to realize that in themselves, they also control the economy.
Mm-hmm.
How? If we are talking about 60% of 1.3 billion people are being youth, then we are talking probably close to 800 million youth. Can you imagine if you, in a country, let's say my country, Ghana, for example, 35 million people, 60% are youth, so we're talking close to 18 million. Now, if the youth is really organized and organized into raising money for themselves, if everybody decides that they're going to work they want to get to give $1 every 3 months. So we're talking about $4 in a year. 4 times 18 million youth, we are talking about $72 million. If you do that for 3 years, we are talking about $200 million. This is enough to set up a bank in which you control $12 into that bank. And that money can then be used to catalyze youth entrepreneurial development. So you see, the money is there. It's just unlocking it with your ideas. And you are the youth. You know, you have crowdsourcing, you have all these strategies. So what I'm saying is that take yourself into an ecosystem, even if it is 50 of you, right? If it is if 50,000 of you, you are giving $1 each, that's $4 per year, $1 per quarter, that's almost $4 per year. You are talking about $200,000. You can do a lot with it. What if you are capable of raising $1,000 each from your friends, and there are 50 of you? It's $50,000 into a venture capital or into an entrepreneurial development. You can buy with 50,000, you can start a farm and feed your country and become, from 50,000, you can grow $100 million. So the point I'm making is that there are so many things you can do. Now, even in the digital economy, there are so many things you can do, you know, to really create the entrepreneur and unleash it. Also, if you are engineers, you go and study engineering, pull together, find a way to build a contract and start little by little. So you are the ones that can create the future you have. You see, the problem is that if you don't have to work towards earning it. It is yours for taking. So you need to find a way to strategically demand your space. If you do not demand your space, you still have the 90-year-olds becoming presidents, and you still have the 80-year-olds leading you and ministers of state who don't think anything about you. They drop dead. Another 80-year-old is circulated. You need to occupy your space, and you occupy your space by having some of the things I've told you: preparing, being strategic, having the expertise, developing the expertise such that you are not ignored and you know exactly how to occupy the space that you need to take. So that is your future. Your future is to create a decent work and economic growth that is needed. It is in your hands. You're going to be over 800 million, more than anybody else. So build it.
Wow. Dr. Star, over to you. Hello.
I saw that some people have written questions. So Dr.
Yes.
Ada, maybe you can look at the questions and read some of them.
Yeah, I'm calling on Dr. Star to handle it. Yes. Before we summarize all the questions.
Yes. Let me quickly look at the questions, and then I wouldn't want you to take two questions that sound alike. So let's thank you, participants, for your kind comments. We need to also know that we'll have to work with time. Dr. Ishmael, before the first question from the participants, we have what a common goal, to get the youth of the world to prepare for the next 10 years. That's the decade of action. And we need to be able to put that 10 years into a frame, and framing the 10 years means that everything that you said now to us, everything you said during the presentation and during your long and very, important response to Dr. Ada's question will tie into those 10 years. We're also going to go beyond the 10 years because we're looking to following these youths to everywhere that are going to go to. For Africa alone, we are looking to creating the opportunity to lead the youth of the world. It's an ambition, and we can see that happen. So please, for 10 years, do you see African youth, finding their place in the scheme of things? Quick answer is so that we can take the other question from the people in the next decade. Yes.
The answer is yes. We have a lot of youth who are very smart, very intelligent, very innovative. To be honest, what is needed is to harness those innovations that are needed and expose the youth to the possibilities of the things that they can actually do. So it is really a matter of strategy and a deliberate investment in this kind of talents and what we want out of the human capital that we want to give to the youth. It requires deliberate investment in educational reforms, and by educational reforms, I'm not talking about training you to go and sit in offices, but looking at vocational training, talents that can help to build nations. We have to think about nation building. We have to think about opportunities that the future holds for us and prepare the youth with the training, exposure, and expertise to be able to take advantage of that. And that is what we need. We also need to be honest, we also need to advocate for inspiring leadership. We need some inspiring leadership to make things happen. And we need to be able to see that from our continent. Because unless we have the right leaders who would provide the right enabling environment, we're going to spend a decade fighting for a space, which is needless. What we need is to create that space. And this is what I'm saying, that it is time for our youth to organize into an ecosystem that is strong, that is practical, that is cogent, and occupy the economic spheres of our countries. Then they can actually shape the kind of leaders that we are looking for. If the youth controls pepper production in the whole of our continent, every leader will listen to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, sorry, sorry a minute, Dr. Star, because Doctor just mentioned issue about exposure. And ideally, our youth need exposure. But my question or my concern is, in most situations, when we want to have these youth exposed, especially with some of the UN agencies or departments or missions, it seems difficult. I knew before now, before the COVID era, during the GA, we do send some youth to African unions, some of the missions to do internship with the GA, and they get really exposed. But this time around, it seems to be difficult. We no longer organize shadow internship or volunteer services for the youth to get exposed, especially with the decade of action. Now, I know you've been quite some time with the Sahel region in Africa. Is there a possibility that we have network of youth, especially in Africa, who in this coming summer will want to have internship or even shadow internship with Sahel activities? Is it possible? And if it's possible, how do we go about it?
Oh, and internships are possible, and there are plenty of opportunities to have internships. I've had a few in my office, and then there's also what we call the UNV, young UNVs program that just after university, you can also have opportunity to be to work as a UN volunteer. So what will happen? But I'm based, our office is based in Dakar. So if you have some of your network who are based in Dakar and they are looking for such internship opportunities, please get in touch, and then we'll see how I can support them.
I'm getting in touch with you soon. We have
Right.
the.
Yeah.
Thank
Because the thing with the internship is that we're now beginning to pay, but what we pay is really not enough to say you bring in someone from another country to Dakar to have housing and so on. So that's the reality and the challenge. But as long as they are here, we'll be fine. But also if they are in other countries, if you let me know who the intern is or the express interest is in the country they are, then I'll connect them to the various countries and see who will express interest to have them in their work.
Do you have a live or virtual? Which one?
Sorry?
Is it by virtual or live?
Well, it can be both. It can be
Okay.
both.
Okay.
It can be both. Yeah. But I would like to have an intern physically to work with me.
Physically.
The thing is that my intent, the way I look at internship also mentorship. But if you come and work for me, you'll have to really work hard. I'll push you to work hard.
Definitely. If they don't work hard, they're
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely. Okay, very quickly, let's start from Samke Dube from South Africa. The question is, how can we practically infuse sustainable development goals in local government, Doctor? How can we practically infuse sustainable development in local government?
Right, thank you. There are a number of processes which are already ongoing, and we call it the MAPS process, which is mapping, assessment, planning, and then deploying. We have worked with many local governments, especially from Ministry of Planning and Ministry of Local Government, and mainstream or interpreted the SDGs into the National Development Agenda. You will see that we normally have these high-level meetings where countries come and provide a showcase how they are trying to internalize the SDGs and the extent to which they have implemented. So in practice, we have worked with Ministry of Planning and then local government to sort of interpret the SDGs as part of their National Development Agenda. And then we structure a monitoring process that help them to track the extent to which they are implementing it. So this is ongoing. There are many countries that have actually done that. If you look at the high-level political forum (HLPF) meetings, you will see a number of countries that have done that, and you can follow that. But if anyone is interested in the maps and how to do this in practice, I can also point you to the right direction of a team and their leaders who are doing this, so you can talk to them.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Ishmael, Grace Matuba is asking a very, very sensitive question. how can our youth in depressed areas gain self-confidence and work towards being agents of change? The environment they live in is has made them to lose hope for the better future. So how can this happen? Youth from depressed areas, yes. From Grace.
Um, First and foremost, I saw some answers to this. When you feel depressed, please make sure that you can seek some help, so that you're a little you get medically cleared. But don't put depression on yourself. The fact of life is that life tends to be unkind, and you get to a point where you need to have two perspectives about life. Sometimes the challenges that you have faced, and I'm just encouraging whoever is going through, and I've been through a moment where I have felt that when growing up, very serious challenges, having you don't have your money to pay your fees, and you are writing exams, and they come and kick you out of the classroom, and you have faces of of that situation. And you can easily feel that, when you look at other peers, they are living a good life, and you can move into a state of depression. What you need to think about is, what opportunities is this situation bringing to me? When you have, this is how I look at life. Look at what opportunities this situation is bringing to you. The opportunity is bringing to you is building resilience in you. It will also helping you to think through your challenges and say, what solutions can I prefer? And then it helps you, once you look at those, it helps to really begin to look at life differently. And I can tell you that if you turn your depressive situation into an opportunity for honing skills that helps you to overcome that challenges that you're going through, you begin to see certain light. One will be that you can come up with an idea of a job or a project that you wouldn't have thought about if you were in a state of depression.
Yeah.
That somebody will see value in that, and the person will help you. For example, Bill Gates got into a state of depression and came out with Microsoft. Steve Jobs did the same. And if you talk to people like Dangote and others, it is a state of depression, of not wanting to find meaning to life, that had enabled them to come out of it. The same, Nelson Mandela was thrown into 27 years jail. He never, when he was going to jail, he never knew that he was going to come out of it. He thought that was the end of his life. But that moment prepared him to that momentous occasion to become the first president of a democratically elected dispensation for South Africa. So the point I'm making is that, yes, when you are in a state of depression, we've all been there. So know that there's an ecosystem that is supporting you. Reach out to Dr. Ada and others and seek counseling, but make it part of yourself. That don't give in to that depression. In that depression, there is something unique that is needed for you to acquire that will take you out of your situation. And that is what you need to focus on. In other words, know that life can always deal you a blow, but you can also hit back. And everyone who had made it had gone through that phase. So don't let that phase crush you. Rather, let that phase really inspire you to say, in spite of the situation, I'm going to get out of it. And you will, trust me, because every situation is temporal. That I can tell you in my in my young years. Every situation is temporal, and you will see it. So hold on, seek counseling, but beyond the counseling, ask yourself, what can I do to get out of this situation? Think very hard, very positive. You will see that you will create something out of it. And I'll pray for you.
Thank you. Yes, prayer is important too. Godfrey Kiboy from Kenya has two questions. First, he's talking about identifying his purpose or his gift and transforming the world. And second, he agrees with you that out of university, some of them get confused, including himself. So how does he make meaning post-graduation? Two questions: identify his purpose and make meaning after graduation.
Touched a bit about purpose. You know, to identify your purpose, you really need to go into a state of solitude, not loneliness. You need to spend time on yourself to ask yourself very hard questions. What is it that I'm here to do on earth? What are the things that inspires me? Is it cars that inspire me? Is it the work? Is it the fact that I want to transform people's lives that inspires me? What is it that makes you tick? And really spend time to understand who you are. And the moment you understand who you are and discover your talents and gifts and what makes you passionate and what actually inspires you to want to do something about a situation, that right there is your purpose. And once you discover that passion and interest, you ask yourself, how do I grow into this purpose? And that requires you reading a kind of books, talking to people who can give you counseling, reaching out to people like me and Dr. Prince and Dr. Adam and mentors that you have, and begin to talk to them. Now, you have to align your education to your purpose. I mean, when I was growing up, I thought that I was going to be a medical doctor, so I studied physics, chemistry, and biology. And then when I was confronted with the situation that my parents don't have money to take me to go and do medical school, because it would take me 7-8 more years, I need to finish school and start contributing to to my family, because my father is a pensioner and so on. Even though I came from a royal traditional family, we still have significant challenges because of the quarrels and things, and we don't have access to any of our assets. So, I grew up really, I walked barefooted to school. I was taught English and mathematics in my local language, and I overcome those situations. I taught myself how to read without understanding anything. And I had to fit in because all my friends are going to private schools and they are doing extremely well. And I had one uniform to go to school. If I go and play football in sport, that's it. But throughout all this, I went through a situation where over time, I had a distinction in a high school, I had a first class university, and I went to Oxford University. I went to a state of depression, but I ended up going to Oxford University and then serving Ban Ki-moon. So my life tells you it's possible. So you have to align your education to your. So when I realized I could not go to medical school, I was depressed, because I was very brilliant, and I thought that everybody thought that I was going to be a doctor. But thank God that I found my purpose, and my purpose is discovering natural resources. And I went to university and I got involved in student politics, in acting, in oratory, in thinking, in policy, in the arts. And I now know why I cannot be a medical doctor. Because you see the way I talk, blah, blah, blah. I can never perform an operation in the theater. I will leave something in someone's stomach. And my friend, medical doctor, said, I now know why. I thank God you never became a doctor. You would have been a disaster. So God has a way also to steer us. So Godfrey, whatever you've learned, you define your purpose and you really identify what is passionate about you. You tailor those things towards your, what you want to become in the future. And talk to people, seek counselors. I'm happy to arrange, one-on-one with you if you have further questions. And to all of you, I'm happy to provide that kind of mentorship advice to the extent possible. And I believe that, Dr. Prince and Dr. Ada are there. They can also point you the right direction. Our purpose in life is that you succeed. That's our purpose. And when you succeed, when I'm old, I should be able to go to any African country and see you, some of you head of state, and you control things. And I don't need to book an appointment. I know when I come, I'm going to be entertained, and you fly me back.
Just mention your name.
Yes. So that's my desire.
Yeah.
That's my desire, that together we'll build an African continent that really all of us dreamed about. That's my purpose for life.
Thank you. Thank you. And your answers very quickly answered Tobias Naruki's question about preparation.
Dr. Oster, we have less than 12 minutes, so
Yes.
Yes.
the questions, and then Dr. Amaka will come up in 5 minutes.
Yes, we're actually done because the next question from Tobias was asking about opportunities, which he very, gladly answered already.
Yes.
One thing that becomes very important to all of us, both coordinators and youth per se, it's our willingness to become humble to learn. You've all heard from Dr. Ishmael that nothing can beat humility when it comes to preparing yourself for tomorrow. You have to be open about learning. Learn, get a purpose and be ready to serve. I'm going to invite Dr. Ambassador Dr. Diana. Are you there? She is our Director for Leadership and Learning Strategy. Dr. Diana, are you there? Yes, please, Ambassador, Your Excellency, we need one word from you before Amaka takes the podium, to end the program. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Prince Dr. Osita. I had put my words actually in the chat, so I will just repeat them.
Okay.
This was a great session. Thank you so much, Dr. Ishmael. To gain a real reset and to begin to rethink on what we as youth are going to do with every opportunity. So even if we're right now just coming out of a global pandemic, it is the way you decide to look at what you can do now so that you can move forward. So determined to look at every situation through the lens of possibility and what is possible for you. Remember that with whatever hand life has dealt you, you have the right and the power to throw those cards back on the table and demand for a better hand. And do not relent until you have received the hand that will move you towards your destined future. Life is a marathon, not a sprint, and life is always unfolding. So even though 2020 was very difficult, it literally launched what you can do now over the next 10 years. Always remember that every generation has its own problems to solve. So whilst you might not be happy with what you are seeing right now from the previous generation, know that what you do now is going to prepare you to solve the problems in your own generation, okay? And whilst you are even thinking about that, ensure to develop yourself. In this generation of information, your ignorance is your own decision. There's no excuse to be ignorant. You can learn anything. And I share that because even right now I am in a learning opportunity because I realize the way that I have led before, I need to do it in a very different way. Because what we are facing right now and what we need to do later on is going to demand us to think in a very different way demand us to develop in a very different way, and we have to rise up to the occasion. So yes, it might be difficult, but we have got everything within us to be able to move forward and not just survive, but to literally thrive. Your generation needs you. And those before you are also going to need you, because you are the future that we have been waiting for, praying for. So by all means, rise up to meet the future now. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Ambassador Diana Kinnally. We appreciate this, and I know that people who have been taking notes would add this to their notes. And I want to invite Maka Agulwe, who is the Deputy Director for Programs, to close the show.
Thank you so much, Dr. Peter, for that introduction. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are feeling very inspired today by the words that you've heard from our speakers, and of course, Dr. Diana's words as well. What the takeaway points you should note are: you have the power within you to achieve whatever goal you set your mind to. So as Dr. Ishmael said in the beginning, it all starts with your values and your goals. What is your end goal? What do you want to see yourself achieve? What do you want to see yourself contribute to this world? So if you haven't heard already, you are at the point that you have something to contribute. It's up to you to identify what that is. And being that we are speaking of the C-Sel mindset and programming curriculum, all of this has to do with your foundational support for your growth and learning as you continue to contribute to society. So those pillars, the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual realms of yourself are what you have to delve into and understand on a deeper level. So the mental, that has come up several times in terms of depression. You know, what are the things that you're thinking of that are putting you in a space of depression? Your capabilities. Who are the words and the people that are uplifting you? What are the things you're saying to yourself about your capabilities? That's the mental aspect. The emotional aspect, understanding your willpower and being driven by your goal is how you are able to meet that goal. That is your compass, and that's what drives you. No matter what obstacles you see or you come to, you know that any problems are temporary and that you can overcome. As far as the physical, this comes to your environment. Who are the people you're surrounding yourself with? Are they positive influences in your life? If you're in a space or a situation or a home where you don't necessarily feel that you have all the tools, how can you give yourself those tools? It's been said a number of times that we are in the age of information technology. So if you have access to a person, an article, a website, some way to bring your mind out of the physical environment if it is problematic. And as for the spiritual, this just ties into where your spirit lies. What do you want to see in this world? What do you want to see yourself bring forth? So just keep these in mind as you continue to show up for the C-Sel series. And thank you all for being here. I thank you all, the speakers, for your wonderful, inspiring words. I wish you all the very best on this Sunday. Let's all keep moving forward with our goals of sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Ada?
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, good brother, Dr. Ishmael, and I want to let you know that we are Oliver Twist, and it's been wonderful learning from you, from your uh, years of experience and professional expertise within the diplomatic level. I'm also glad that you're able to share with us how you aspire to be who you are today. And these are the strength we need. So without wasting much of your time, we are going to really have some youth under your mentorship, just like other youth, other people that will also engage. And again, I want you to also know that a greater membership of this Youth Gather Global are African youth, and they are excellently passionate about their future. So we need to get them really on board to clear off their, do I say foundational anxieties that has put us down within Africa. You know, I knew that if I didn't come to this level, what I know today, I didn't know them even while I was a regional leader in my country, Nigeria, you know, and yet I got more exposed. So they need this kind of exposure. And we are going to have most of you on this. I thank you so much. And we want to encourage you and pray that God shall continue to lead you. And we look forward to the next. I don't want to say it because we're on record. So I thank you so much. Just before we close up, I want to remind the youth that it's not just listening, but also putting it to action. We've had 3 weeks of this training. I'm sure you have been able to make out and reflect on these lessons and come up with your personal, I say personal empty story of career growth. You know, it has to do with skills, identifying your inherent talent and skills, come up with innovation, and then your transformation strategies. You have to look at personal transformation, your career transformation, your community transformation, and from there you take it up. So put all these things. I've looked at the chart. A lot of you are excited. You're appreciative of what is going on, but try to develop them for your own personal use, so that what we are doing here is not a waste. So I thank you for your time, and I want to let you know that next week is another section of an important training from another leadership expert. And then we need the youth to be involved for your own interest. All of us, the members of Youth Gather Global, will have a lot of things to do, but we are bringing up time for your own interest. And I want you to be more committed, because there's no way we can grow if not knowledge. Knowledge is power. So get ready for next week. And most of the countries in Africa will have where is Tobias? I think we have about 28 countries who have shown interest in Youth Gather Global. Not all of them are here. Europe is not here. Asia is not here. We have just one country from Caribbean. So we need to have more of you, because it's for your own interest. You can never overcome your personal anxiety without knowledge and power. So, Prince Oster, I just want Tobias to appreciate Dr. Ishmael. Let the voices of youth say something, you know, in appreciation of what we've done today. I thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Doc.
Go ahead, Toby. Tobias.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Eda, for giving me an opportunity to give out a voice of the youth, and not only in Africa but globally. Um, I take this opportunity to first of all thank God for giving us Dr. Ismail to come and talk to us, such a very insightful and informal and informing deliberation on SDGs. And I hope the youth who have attended today's training have grasped something and have tapped the knowledge and skills that Dr. Ismail has shared. Personally, I've learned a lot, and I'm going to implement each and every aspect that he has talked about. I'm going to start living the power of purpose. In leadership, it requires the skills that I've acquired today, going forward to also help other leaders and my colleague regional coordinators and country coordinators, so that moving forward, we may be able to have a change of our own perceptions, a change of other people's perception to serve in our countries, our continents, and globally to bring youth together and help them to know that the light leadership begins within our own self. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate and looking forward to learn more from Dr. Ismail, Dr. Osita, Dr. Ada, and other governing council members and other leaders who come to talk to us. Thank you so much, and may God bless you as we continue to go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tobias, and thank you, everybody. This has been a wonderful day. We appreciate you, Dr. Ishmael. And like Dr. Ada said, we're going to knock on your doors several times more. God bless you, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Did you take photograph? Did you take pictures, please?
Okay, let everybody unmute now.
Unmute your video.
Please unmute. Let's take, show your face.
Oh, my Excellency is on the line. Oh my God.
Yes, hi. No problem.
Oh my God.
I'm fascinated.
Can you say a word to
what I say after this great leader are here? Nothing to say, just I say thank you to the doctor. He done well, and I see I follow. I come a little late because we have to eat. Just I say something. Watch all the youth growing with youth gather global, because this is the great platform for leadership, for the future leader for tomorrow. We are all here with this great people to do a lot for you. If we are here, it's only for you. So you need to help us and to bring and to recruit more youth and to make it not only 1 million, 2 million, make it millions and millions for you. There is in Africa a lot of people who need support, help, need to sharpen them leadership, to develop them skills. And we have the people, right people to build your skill. So for any, like he said, the doctor, for any things in your life, you need strategy, you need to fix your goal, you need to know where are you going with this, and never let anyone minimize you, demoralize you, or let you feeling down. You are always up, and with positive energy you can go far. Nothing has to stop you. Study. The first thing is knowledge. If you don't have knowledge, you cannot make career. No more. Ask. Sharp your skill with the training, because you need a training for development of your life, of your career, of your normal things for your study. So guidance, you have these excellencies and doctors and training here, and ambassador with you to build you. So Youth Gather Global is your mission and your vision and your future. Be together. Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, Doctor. You make it. You rock it. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Prince Osita.
Thank you. Okay, we close for today and wait for next Saturday. It's a promise. It's
Were you able to take the picture, Doctor?
Yes, I did. I took photos, yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ishmael.
From Dakar.
Thank you very much.
It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
And
bye.
all that participated.
My sister, Sheppy.
Yes, oh, Sheppy, how are you?
When you go home, tell them we are coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to South Africa.
Excellent. It's been excellent. We are waiting for you. So
we are coming.
We are
That's
waiting for you.
We are coming. That's a promise.
Get
It's great.
Get ready.
Okay.
Great.
August 2021, South Africa. Get ready.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Great.
All right.
Thank you. Good night. Good night,
Nice.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Night.
Yes.